Justin Jones, the recently expelled member of the Tennessee legislature, walks back into the very chamber that removed him to thunderous applause. He would march with protesters.
And I ask that we can stand together in this, is that Speaker Cameron Sexton must resign as House Speaker.
Republicans essentially did this, and they are in the latter stage.
We need to fight for democracy in the state of Tennessee, and we need people not only just to vote, but people to show up and speak out so that we can end the gun violence epidemic that's happening in our state. This is wrong, this is unjust, and this is not the way that it has to be.
The GOP-dominated House voting to expel 2 young Democratic lawmakers because they had taken part in a gun control protest. It didn't escape notice that Representatives Justin Jones and Justin Pearson are black, while their white colleague Gloria Johnson also protested, but she survived being kicked out.
Pearson, 29, would show his might in front of the camera.
Why were those 2 expelled and you weren't?
Well, I think it's pretty clear. I'm a 6-year-old white woman, and they are 2 young black men.
And yet here we are, with Jones back in, Johnson never expelled, but Pearson's fate being decided soon. However, Republicans in the state are threatening the following. It's a mixture of sports and politics. Fox 13 Memphis, where Justin Pearson was elected as a representative, could lose funding if he were to be reappointed. There are millions of dollars being held over the heads of those in the city as a direct threat if Pearson is sworn back in. On your screen is Erica Sugarman, commissioner of Shelby County. She'd tell Fox 13 of the threat in an interview. FedEx Forum, the promised $350 million, they're talking about snatching that away, she said, calling it bullying people into submission. She demands others join with her to take a stand and not continue to be put down by the Republican supermajority. The FedEx Forum, if unaware, is the name of the arena that houses the Memphis Grizzlies, the playoff team. John Morant, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., what have you. Now, this goes back roughly 1 month ago when Governor Bill Lee announced $350 million for upgrades to Liberty Stadium and FedEx Forum. Sexton gave his stamp of approval. If unaware, Republicans have pulled this in the state of Tennessee before. Let me tell you about it. When the city of Memphis removed Confederate statues in 2018, they pulled funding from the city. It was a late add to the government spending bill. The statues, by the way, were of a slave trader and the leader of the U.S. rebellion.
Whether you agree with the particular statue that was there or not, those are historical monuments that should be at least treated with some amount of respect and dignity. We can't erase history.
This man, Republican Andy Holt, would equate the statues' removal to the actions taken of, in his view, Islam. Antonio Parkinson, seen here shaking hands with the vice president, would say at the time, you can boo all you want, but let's call it for what it is. You remove money from a city because we removed your God from our grounds. This would also happen at a time when there was a different governor in office whose name was Bill Haslam. Now, if that name sounds kind of familiar, that's because it is. His brother is Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the NFL's Cleveland Browns. On the FedEx Forum front, Doug Kuffner, communications director for Speaker Sexton, wrote to Action 5. In an email, the speaker has been and will continue to support those projects, though if reading between the lines, there is wording that leaves the door open. Quote, he is hopeful the funding will remain in. That is the kicker. Personally, do I think they're going to pull funding? No, I don't. And it probably would have been best to not make a mockery of the body in Tennessee because Justin Jones is a star now. Justin Pearson is a star now. And we've learned a lot about Speaker Sexton, haven't we? Sexton represents Crossville, Tennessee. Now, here's the thing about Crossville, Tennessee. Per the Daily Beast, there is strong evidence that it is one of the most notorious sundown towns. At South Cumberland Elementary, This mural was painted in the school's gymnasium at one point. On top of this, journalist Judd Legum uncovered the Republican does not live in Crossville. In fact, he and his family have lived in Nashville for some time. And to add on more, the speaker has not paid property taxes in over 2 years.